So I just realized I should say something about the siding. So it's tongue and groove, and you can see we changed the direction. And some parts of the house we ran it at a 45, but mainly we ran it horizontal and vertical. So why did we choose pine? So we don't, where we live, fir is really not a viable option, at least for my budget at the time. I don't even know what it costs now. But it was pretty much, the choice came between pine and hemlock. And we were already over budget, so looking at something more expensive was not really what we wanted to do. And we did want to go with wood. That was one thing we had decided on. So hemlock is great. It can take the water, it loses the water. It's an open pore, open grain wood, whereas pine is a closed grain. But the advantage of pine is it can take a lot of heat. You can put it on a sunny side of the house, it can get blazing hot and then get really cold, and it's not going to shift much. Whereas hemlock, on the other hand, is going to start splintering and cracking and falling apart with those extreme heat and cold conditions, especially the heat. So you can see this is on a shady side of the house, and it really is held up really good. So now we go over here in the sunny part, and this is getting heat most of the time. And we could go where it's getting heat even more, and that's on the front side. But yet they look the same. There's really, we haven't been seeing cracking, and this is after about 40 years. So overall, it's held up really good. It's really on the bottoms, like over in there in the corner where it could get water. That's where I'm worried about. In fact, I need to clean the leaves out of this area. This is an area I've always kept an eye on, and I'm a little worried about. So I think we need some aluminum there too. But we first need to deal with this. Now, on the end here, right here, it's not really an issue because our roof is going the other way. So the water is going this way, coming down, and then that's where it's splashing. It's not really, this area is not taking a beating. There, I'm worried about that corner because we have the hillside there. So if there's any water coming down, I've tried to guide it this way, but it still can get caught in that corner, and that could be an issue. So we'll look at that later. I know that's in pretty good shape. Those leaves are just recent. I usually keep it cleaned out there, but the leaves are falling this time of year. So that's why we chose pine. Budget, takes the heat, takes the sun really good. But hemlock is really good as far as the water. So that's what I need to use on the bottom. I'm going to replace that with hemlock, and then we're going to do our aluminum splash guard. Pine might have been fine if I would have done the splash guard in the first place. I still would have been worried about the concrete there, but I did tar that, which I'm really not a fan of tar anymore either. If I had to do over again, I would have Geicoed it, but it is what it is, and it's time to improve it. And pine siding, that's what it looks like. This is tongue and groove pine.